back to the Just Because podcast, a podcast about all things cosplay, life, and today, travel.
This cosplay, life, and travel podcast features me, Mangle Phantom, and also
Marmalade, hi.
we are the representatives for Team Australia WCS 2023, which is happening in it's May 29th, so we've got just about 2 months, June, July.
About 70 days.
About 70 days.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
Coming up.
How you doing?
Oh, so stressed. Awesome, great.
Let's go.
It's unimaginably amazing. I can't tell you how lovely it is to be a uni student, a part-time worker, and a cosplay national. Oh my god, it's too much.
Business owner,
and a relationship idol. Oh my god, it's so much. I'm good. We're doing everything though.
So, just quick shout out. If you guys have been listening to us on Spotify, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're rising up the ranks of like, hey, you search cosplay podcasts.
No, you just search cosplay.
Just search cosplay. And you'll find us. That's pretty
us.
awesome.
And that's all thanks to your ratings. So thank you so much for rating us. I think we're at a 4.9 stars.
That's
rating
awesome.
Which
we're
is
like,
really great.
Imagine Uber drivers for podcasts.
Yeah.
We're doing pretty good.
Or like Facebook Marketplace rating or like eBay seller rating.
We're
really
reputable.
high.
We're trustworthy. Thanks, guys.
We say cool things sometimes.
But yeah, if you feel like you enjoy our podcast, feel free to give us a rating, give us a comment. We've received some lovely DMs.
Recently.
So thank you for everyone who has given us kind words. It gives us happiness and support and makes us want to keep doing this on a more regular basis.
Absolutely. Because this is just us in a room sitting here, so it's nice to kind of like, outside world. Cool. People do listen. That's great.
It's nice.
I love seeing people tag us on the story when they're like working on projects and have us on in the background. It's a very nice
It's very flattering.
feeling that we get to, it's like we
get to spend time with you.
them. Yeah.
We're not there with
We're not
you,
there,
but we are
sadly.
with you at the same time, so
Yeah.
it's nice.
With you right now.
Now, as you're probably crunching for a whole bunch of things, where again, lots of transparency. We try to catch up once every couple of weeks to do this, but because things are getting so busy, we're going to try to chew out 3 episodes today. We're going to release them one by one, so it's like, wow, they recorded another one this week. We're going to do our best. We're going to get through all of them. We got some banging topics, which you guys are going to love, and today is travel. Now, travel. Why did we decide to do travel today? Because we've also mentioned like Instagram in the past, but why travel?
Travel. I think I really wanted to talk about this topic because it's something that I personally have always loved all my life. I've always been traveling here and there and around because my family is half Austrian, so I do love, we've had many opportunities to go over and visit them over in Austria, and one day I'll go to a convention over there because that sounds like a lot of fun. But I've just always loved traveling, and especially importantly, for us little Brisbaneans and Australians in general, I feel like unless you're in Melbourne, you have to travel if you want to go to more than like 2 events a year, which is not a lot. And if you see how many events happen around the world, you feel a whole lot of FOMO, so you've got to get your savings in order so that you can go and travel and go to an interstate convention, which for Australians is usually Smash, PAX, I feel like are the main big ones, and then if you feel like traveling to any of the other like Oz Comic Con, Supernovas, or then you've got your like more niche conventions. You've got your HoshiCon over in Perth.
If you want to take your baby steps internationally, you can go to Armageddon in Auckland, New Zealand, I believe. So.
And then Melbourne has like a whole range of like little other events that happen as well, which is...
I do feel Melbourne,
so lucky down there.
Out of Australian cities, Melbourne's probably the most blessed with conventions.
Yeah, and events. I think so. Must be easier to run events down there than it is
so.
up here.
Well, I think it's just there's the population. There's people just interested in those kinds of things.
There's population in Sydney too, though.
That's true, but just everything's happening in Melbourne. Not to say that there's nothing happening in Sydney. Like, we're coming down to Smash.
We sure are.
We're going down to Smash. So anyone who wants to, wants to chill, hang, smash, we're going to be there. So we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in regards to travel, we did a recap last year of like, these are the best, these are the worst conventions of 2022.
We did. Rated them out of 5 stars. That was fun.
That was fun. We'll do something similar eventually, getting around to more conventions this year. But we're going to be obviously traveling to Japan in August, right? And there's a whole bunch of different things we have to prepare, not just our costumes and our visas, but paperwork, lots of paperwork. Then we have to do luggage, spending money, extra accommodation because we'll be staying there a bit longer. Also got to consider delays and people you're traveling with. So there's a whole bunch of different things.
All of the complexities that come along with traveling, which I feel like I'm so well versed in because I have been traveling.
You've been doing it
a lot
because you've been
so
to.
I don't really get worried about it like,
Yeah.
as much. Even though I still have nightmares. I had a nightmare last night.
Oh my God.
Literally had a nightmare
Was
last
it a
night.
travel?
We were
What did we do?
leaving to the airport for Japan,
And
we were there, and we had everything packed, and we were about to get ready, and I forgot my passport.
How could you?
I know.
How
I was
could
like,
you?
Sora, could you please bring me my passport?
Forget your baggage,
I know.
but not your passport.
Not your passport. It's just my brain telling me like, hey, just make sure you pack this. Here's an extra little added
pretty
memory
important.
incentive for you to remember your passport. I think it was also the dream like swapped real quick, and you know how dreams kind of sometimes do that all of a sudden.
Yep.
And then we were like coming back from Japan, and I'd lost my passport in Japan. I was freaking out about how I was going to get back into the country. Oh my gosh! So vivid imagination strikes again.
Well, it's one of those things. I do want to discuss this a little bit later down in today's episode.
Yeah.
But I think travel, a trip can be made or broken. You can make it or break it, depending on who you're traveling with.
Yeah.
I'll say it's a bit later because we're going to go into like travel buddies and delays and stuff like that.
Horror time.
Horror
times.
story time.
Yeah.
We can go into that right now if you wanted to.
I don't know.
Well,
I think another reason I wanted to talk about travel today is because we've had a lot of messages, people asking for advice on travel and how to kind of budget, how to approach it when you're looking at going to an interstate convention. Because maybe you think in your head, ballpark, it might be like, oh,
a few
$100,
a few thousand,
$200.
how much they're going to be.
I don't know how it's going to
We'll
be.
give you our
Yeah.
experiences and what's worked well, what hasn't, and we'll go from there. We'll give them. Actually, you can probably do it because you've been to America for a con. Have you been to? I've been to Singapore for a
I was going to say,
convention too.
we've both been to an international event for cosplay.
But I think for most people,
Yeah.
doing a domestic interstate travel within your own country is probably the most common thing to do.
especially like us people in Brisbane are stuck, having to travel.
We gotta do it. And so, what are some realistic expectations that we can set up for people wanting to travel? Doing it more cost effectively.
Yes.
And also preparing. Maybe it's going to be your first trip this year. Maybe it's going to be your first trip. You're all excited. Can you remember your first interstate convention trip?
I think I can, if I've got it right, which is terrible. I'm pretty sure it was to a Melbourne supernova in 27. No. Okay, wait. It was RTX Sydney 2017.
You're right, it's
Right at
RTX.
the beginning of the year. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. To Sydney.
Good
and
experience?
It was so fun. Yes. It was really good. It
Nice.
was really good.
Mine was Sydney Supernova. I was debating this with my mate last night. It was either 08 or 09. So way back when.
Whoa.
Vampire Night was at its peak, if you remember that.
But
I
never watched it.
Yeah, it was one of those weird trips in which I went with some people I worked with. It was like, oh, let's go for a trip. This might be fun.
Yeah.
And I went back there to sleep because we stayed 2 nights, I think. Maybe it's Friday night, Saturday night, maybe Sunday, can't remember. But I ended up going back and hanging out with them on the first day. And then I went back the next night just to sleep. And then I just didn't come home the next night because I was out having a party.
Wild.
And not that they were bad friends or
Thriving.
anything.
Yeah.
Just I met people and we enjoyed our
You
time
ditched
together.
them, Jeremy.
I just messaged. I was like, "Hey, I just made some
that's good of
friends.
you.
I'll probably not come back tonight. Just thought I'd let you know. That's just what happened. So, if you're not going out and getting sloshed
Getting
and
rowdy.
meeting people, no, you do whatever you want on your trip. Like it's your trip, right? Best advice I heard was from like the captain of a cruise ship when I went on a cruise ship once, just randomly. It's like on this cruise ship, you do as much as you want or you do as little as you want.
That's it? That's the whole thing?
Yeah,
Wow, that's really groundbreaking stuff,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
it really is. It's just like,
It is.
because some people like, I go overseas, I have to do everything. I have to go here, do this.
Who is like that?
Definitely relatives I've travelled with.
Okay.
Definitely friends I've travelled
So
with
a
too.
lot of people,
A lot
majority?
of people.
Okay,
Because they're like, I
interesting,
have to go,
interesting.
because I'm only going to be here once. I have to go like this and this and this and this.
Okay.
And then lately I've been like, you know what? I could, or I don't have to. I could do
Interesting.
half those things.
Maybe that's just kind of the kind of people you've been around, because I feel like that's never been my
Yeah?
experience with the people that I've travelled with.
It's just always been like, let's
They've-
just take our time.
They've been like, oh, look, if we get the chance, I'd really like to go to this specific cafe because they've got this cute thing. It's never like... It's
itinerary
always-
lined up.
No,
Yeah, wow.
never, ever.
Interesting.
No. Actually, only one group of people did that I have travelled with once.
And you wouldn't do it again?
No, never.
There you go.
I'm not friends with those people anymore, so...
We live and learn.
Yes,
we live and learn.
do. Travel reveals a lot about a person's patience.
Oh, let's go straight into
incredible.
it. Travel buddies,
Yes.
straight off. I think
You may think you know someone, but until they are put under the pressure of like a time crunch or like needing to be in a certain place, not knowing how to get somewhere, not knowing where something is, trying to locate something, once someone is under that pressure, it can quickly reveal
their true nature.
yeah, and how quickly they can snap it at you.
Yeah. I think it's a good test, particularly of a relationship. It doesn't necessarily be a romantic one.
Okay.
Good test.
Like friendship?
But also friendships,
Yeah.
because, like you said, it's... When you travel, you got to go to an airport, and during an airport, things can happen.
Yeah.
You know, there could be delays, there could be lost baggage.
The security people can be really
Security
mean
can
and make
be
you
mean.
cry.
And obviously, you can get put into these situations which aren't ideal. It's very stress-inducing.
Yeah.
And so I think it's one of those times in which you find out very quickly whoever you're traveling with, family member, friend, romantic partner, romantic interest, you get to see what they're like under stress. And when they're under stress, one of two things is going to happen. It's literally one of two. It's
Okay.
one of two things. They're either going to be very good at dealing with stress, and they're going to be like, no, that's fine. You know, we'll get through this. Don't worry. Something happens, we'll be fine.
Oh, condescending. Yeah.
The second thing is they're not good at dealing with stress, and it could just take the very smallest thing for them to tip over and lash out. And the person they're going to likely lash out the most is the people that they're closest to, which is, in this case, it could be yourself.
Yeah.
So, good test. Just be not saying don't go traveling with your friends.
I don't know if I would agree that it's
Yeah?
one in two options. I feel like I've seen a variety of responses.
Yeah, what kind of
honestly.
things have you
Well, I
seen?
feel like there's different kinds of travelers. You know, there's like the anxious traveler who like doesn't like flying, doesn't like being in the plane, like, you know, the whole fear
That's
around
true. That's true.
flying can be like really nerve-wracking. Or there's someone who you know, doesn't know, is it maybe a newer flyer or newer traveler, so they don't know how to get their bags checked in, they don't know how to get a ticket printed, they don't know which gate, they don't know anything about anything, so everything is completely new. Or you have the more, I would say your calm person.
Yep.
In my archetype
Yeah.
category here would be a more experienced traveler,
Yeah.
has done it before and is comfortable and knows the kind of procedures and the time frames of how long is it going to take for me to get through security. I'm not worried about it because I know it usually takes around this much time, or I know what I need to take off. Because a newer traveler would be like, shit, do I have to take off my shoes? Do I have to take off my belt? Do I have to take my ear? You know?
Well, that's
like,
just
there's
it.
all these questions, but a more experienced, more advanced traveler is going to understand what it takes.
Well,
And then person,
Yeah.
if there's a newer traveler traveling with a more experienced traveler, they're likely to have a much more calmer experience together
Well,
than
yeah, you could factor
the
experience.
anxious flyer and the newer
You could factor experience into it.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, it's still very stressed and not stressed. You're saying the very anxious new
different
person.
kinds though.
You could be a new traveler.
Yeah.
You could have everything go wrong. You lose your bag, flight gets cancelled, you don't know what to do. But you'd be like, oh, you know, this sucks, but I'm sure I'll work it out.
Really? I think that'd be so rare to find.
Well, that's just it. Like, there's
It'd be
two types of
so
people.
rare.
Well, look, the two types of people in this case
Okay.
is like, no matter what comes my way, I'll handle it. I'll deal with it. I'll be fine. And then the other person's
Maybe.
like, if things go wrong, I'm gonna lose it.
Maybe.
It doesn't matter if you're experienced or like, because that's just it. At the end of the day, you're either calm or you're stressed and you're gonna take it out on someone. So yeah, you could have an experienced person traveling with a new person, and they could be the calm one, and the new person could be the anxious one. But at the end of the day, it's still stressed and not stressed.
I don't know if I agree, but yeah.
Well, that's how it is. But
Either way, it becomes difficult when we're putting people into categories, but I think that it's not
I mean,
a set
it could
place
be
to
a sliding scale. It could be a sliding
Yes,
scale, right?
yeah, that's what I'm
so
saying.
it could be from one extreme to the other.
Absolutely, because
but-
some certain things might make you much more anxious than others, which is probably more realistic than...
Yeah. But, you know, it's going to be how you react to it. The
Yes.
anxious person is like, oh, you're going to take it out on the person who was calm, even if something goes wrong. It's like, calm person's like, oh, you know what, we'll figure it out. It's
There's a
fine.
lot riding on it. Like, I think I take it back to, like, when I was younger and traveling for conventions. There's a lot riding on you want to be there at that event. You're worried if your flight gets cancelled that you won't be there in time. If you've made, like, already, like, plans with people there that you'll miss out on them. And there's a lot of money riding on what you're doing. So I could imagine there's a lot of stress.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, there is stress with
It'll
traveling,
be
don't
hard
get me
to
wrong.
Stay calm.
Yeah,
If the flight gets cancelled.
it does, but
Yeah.
end of the day, you know, you are going to get to where you need to be. You might miss out some events. That sucks. You know, you might, depending if it was your fault, I've done this before, you literally missed your flight because you slept in. Happened to me.
Good job, Jeremy.
Came out of my own pocket. That was my fault,
Now
right?
I'm going to have a nightmare about that.
However, there's been times in which it's like, oh, my flight got cancelled for reasons that weren't my own. And same thing. I had to book a new flight. Had to stay overnight in a hotel. Some of it got reimbursed, some didn't. Tiger Airlines went bankrupt, so I didn't get my money back for some of it. And yeah, that sucked. But at the end of the day, I made it back home. I was okay. I was a bit out of pocket and, you know, missed a day of work. But, you know, it is what it is. And at the time, don't get me wrong, stressful. It sucked. It was lonely by myself.
There you go.
But I look back on it now, I'm like, lol, that trip sucked. Anyway, now I've got the worst trip in my life to refer to.
Oh my gosh.
And every trip after that, hopefully, a little bit better.
Okay.
It's all experience.
You would say
points.
you're an experienced traveler then?
Experienced traveller. I still get stressed, but I definitely am more certain of myself to the point, if something goes wrong, I'm not going to take it out on people around me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to packing, Jeremy,
Yeah.
what is your like essential must pack for a convention that you're traveling to?
Must pack for a convention.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. Once upon a time, I would have said hairspray. Not anymore. Once upon a time, I would have said hot glue. Not anymore. I'm going to say deodorant.
Okay.
Deodorant's a pretty big one. But even still, like, if I don't pack that, just go to the convenience store when I get there. What is an essential? That's a tricky one. I'm just going to put, like,
Jeremy.
essential medication for my well-being.
Okay, that's good.
Right?
That's great.
Because
That's
some of that stuff
fantastic.
I can't easily get so quickly.
No, of course. When you are preparing for an event, do you not have a sheet list of things that you need to pack for that event?
No.
Oh my god, okay. My question is completely wasted
Oh,
on you
no.
then. Because every event that I go to, I make myself a list.
list.
So that, just like school camp gives you a list in when you're in school, so you
Yep.
don't forget anything. Because another reason to stress is being like, oh crap, did I forget my wig for this cosplay?
Did you forget your passport?
Exactly! You need a list of everything that you might need, otherwise you will forget it, I guarantee you.
I haven't been...
Because you're going to get carried away in the excitement of going to the event, and you might forget to, like, pack enough underwear.
I haven't been overseas in a while.
Yeah.
So maybe for the overseas trip, I will do it.
Okay.
But interstate ones, I really haven't.
Okay.
But the thing that
But
was...
then that trap means that you end up buying things when you're down there, which can be much...
more expensive.
Yes,
Yeah,
much
it
more
can be.
expensive. Things like a lip balm, you have no idea. If you need to buy a lip balm when you're on the go,
Yeah.
it could be like $10
Yep.
when it's like usually $2 or something.
Yep.
Like insane.
Makeup wipes.
Yes, exactly. I have a list of around like 20 items. Things like a phone charger.
Oh, good
Oh,
one. Good one.
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Things like your makeup, your contacts that you'll need, the underwear, the socks, the bras that you
Oh,
will need to
right.
wear
Yes,
as
okay.
well. A change of clothes, because you don't want to be in cosplay for the entire time. Even on those convention days, I guarantee you'll want to change out of clothes.
Yep.
Yeah. But you'll need like at least four, I reckon, changes of
4
clothes.
outfits.
Yeah. Or like clean clothes to wear. Clean. Fresh.
Clean.
New.
Yes. Mostly just undergarments.
No.
Okay. If you were going for...
If you're going to Brisbane for a 2-day event,
Two-day
you
event.
sweat
Okay.
through everything.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
leave Monday, right? So that's... You stay Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
That's reasonable.
Usually convention weekend.
Now, you could go Friday morning, Friday evening, it doesn't really matter,
Mm-hmm.
right? The fact is you're staying there 3 nights. Now, if you're going to be there in costume Saturday, Sunday, right? You could say, it's like, all right, that's my 2 outfits for that weekend. You
Add those to the list.
add to that
Everything
list.
from top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
The shoes, the accessories, the outfits, the props, everything, the wig, the contacts.
You'll
everything on that
make a
list.
list. It's a good thing to do. Look, if you are new to this, write a list. Don't do what I do, okay? But I say you don't need 4 outfits because you travel there in whatever you're wearing on the Friday, yeah? Cool. Next day, Saturday, get into your cosplay. Then you change to a set of clothes after the event. You could, arguably, use that same set of clothes that you used on the Friday. Yeah?
I disagree.
And then Sunday evening, you could, if you wanted to, wear a different set of clothes, right? That's the second set of civilian clothes. And you could use that same set of clothes on the Monday. 2 sets of clothes.
What about pajamas, Jeremy?
You Optional?
No, they're not. The pajamas are not optional.
Optional?
It's freezing down in Sydney and Melbourne. You're going to need some nice, warm, comfy pajamas so that you sleep well through the convention. So arguably, minimum 3.
Minimum 3.
You're nasty. But I would recommend 4.
I changed my
because
undergarments and
in
socks.
the morning, when you wake up, are you not going to... You did this, so you're guilty of this. You get up, you go out for breakfast or a coffee, and then you go back to the hotel and put your cosplay on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
a different...
That's your Friday. That's your Friday outfit. Do you have a breakfast outfit, Mike?
Of course you do. At least a clean shirt or a top.
Your Friday outfit.
Yeah.
Maybe your pajamas.
No.
You don't go in your pajamas?
Different tops. No. Because that gets outside dirt on it, and then it's not as hygienic to sleep in.
Have you ever travelled interstate for a trip
Yeah.
with just carry-on luggage?
No, I won't, because you
Right.
can't bring hairspray, you can't bring spray deodorant, you can't bring contact lens solution.
You can bring roll-on deodorant. You can bring on contact solution. I did that on my most recent trip.
Less than 100 mils, maybe.
I bought the full 500. I asked
Okay.
him at the check-in, can I bring this on? He was like, yeah, bro, it's cool.
What the hell?
Yeah, I know. I was expecting to throw it away,
Yeah.
but I thought, well, maybe it'll save me a trip to the chemist when I get there.
Okay.
And I'll sweet. There and back, I got the same bottle.
Yeah. Okay.
Deodorant, you can get roll-on. What's the other one you said?
Hairspray.
Hairspray. Fair enough. That's true, but you
Yeah.
can also get them under a certain size.
Also,
can
you're not
use it.
supposed to bring your little batteries.
Batteries?
Anything batteries in your carry-on.
They want you to bring batteries in your carry-on. They don't want you to put it in
That's
your
what I
main
was thinking
luggage.
of.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you
yeah,
can.
yeah, okay.
So I've done probably more trips with just carry-on recently.
Psychopath.
And that's probably why I've been like, yeah, 2 sets of clothes.
That's Jeremy, because you don't have to bring makeup to conventions because you don't use makeup.
I use eyeliner.
Use the same
and-
wig for every single cosplay you do.
Yeah, and the same eyebrow pencil.
And the same contacts and the same...
I changed the contacts.
You don't have to pack a fat ass petticoat into your
No.
luggage.
I don't.
It takes up so much space. Sometimes even like 2 to 3 petticoats.
That's
And like different shoes.
That's rough.
That's the reality of cosplay, my dude. Every other...
That's rough. That's rough,
so
buddy.
many other cosplayers are with me right now that you need to bring like a whole case of a crate of makeup to be like to
Look,
cosplay
it
with.
depends on what you're wearing, right? It depends. Like, if you're doing, for example, an armor set, yes, I agree.
How are you gonna do armor and carry on?
You don't. You don't. You will need
Jeremy.
20 kilos of luggage,
Yes.
right? But, to me, as I've learned, if I'm going down to an event interstate, unless I'm doing a competition
Yeah.
or something which requires, I'm going to put on my A game, I want to bring something fancy, yes, I'll bring the 20 kilos of luggage.
Okay.
If we go down to something like DreamHack,
Yes.
where it's just, hey, we're going to there to do a presentation, we're going there to network and meet people, I don't need a super fancy armor set or big flowery costume, just something fun and comfy. So, carry on. 7 kilos. That's it. So,
Which airline did you fly?
Jetstar?
Jetstar are really, really specific with their freaking carry-on though, because they make you weigh it before you get on the plane, and if you are a tiny bit over 7 kilos, they will literally charge you $70 on the spot, and it's ridiculous. I hate them.
Yeah, you know what I did?
hate them.
You know what I did?
Put stuff on?
That was one thing. I had 2 bags.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got away with this.
Did you leave it like somewhere?
No,
And come
I
back for
probably
it?
could have, should have.
I've done that before.
But I don't know why, because there was one lady in front of me, one lady literally behind doing another line.
Yeah.
And I had 2 bags. One bag I made sure it was like 6.5 kilos. The other one was at least 2 or 3. And I said, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I had my big coat on. I literally got the other bag, hid it behind my back like this, and was like, okay, yep, this is the bag. They're like, yep, all good to go. And then I just kind of whipped it and walked forward like this. I don't know how I got away with it. I had about 9 or 10 kilos.
On both ways, there and back?
Both ways. The first time there was no baggage weigher. On the way back there was. And I was like, oh my God.
I hate them so much. They're so rude. I think I dislike them so much just because I watched them have a really, really rude interaction with like a clearly couple and family who didn't have very good English skills, and they just got so like pushy and argumentative with them about it. Like, well, you should have known. Like,
and they could
some
barely speak
sympathy.
English.
Yeah, some amount of sympathy. Like, come on. Like, they were just terrible. But literally like $70 on the spot. That'll add a lot to your budget, like your expenses.
Stay within the rules. If you don't know what the rules are,
Yeah.
I would recommend reading airline rules. It does differ from airline to airline.
Yep.
And
some airlines have included checked-in luggage where you can, like, you don't have to pay extra, whereas lines like Jetstar, you constantly have to pay extra if you want checked-in luggage, which is, like, not always super clear, I guess, to new travelers. I think I was, like, when I was getting the hang of, like, domestic flights, I was kind of like, wait, what do you mean this is the same price but I don't get a bag? Like, what? It's silly. Yeah.
Travel insurance, real quick. I'm just going to say, if you're traveling domestically, probably don't need it. The only time I regretted not doing it was the time I slept in for a domestic flight. But that's on me.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Yeah.
But domestic, they're like, domestic travel insurance. Maybe I should get it just in case. I don't know, maybe because flights are getting... Because if your flight gets cancelled and it's not your fault, they will typically reschedule it for you.
Yes.
And you don't have to pay out of your own pocket because they'll have to do the rescheduling.
I can't remember if they changed the rules during COVID so that it is just like, sorry.
Yeah. There's
because
COVID
they were
rules
losing
now.
too much money.
They were.
But I would say the one time of the year where I think it is worth buying travel insurance for your flights, because it's like an $11 add-on or something, is the Smash weekend, because I cannot tell you the amount of people who have been left, at least Brisbane, because it always storms. There's always like... For the past, like, 2 or 3... Like,
Sydney thinks.
It was like 2017, 18, 19. There was, like, a series of, like, really bad weather events where, like, all the flights just got cancelled. I remember that. I'm like, okay, don't trust this
If you're
weekend.
travelling to
but
Sydney...
they have moved it 2 weeks earlier, so maybe the weather is better.
Maybe they know.
I don't think they know. We'll see. Maybe.
Possibly. You never know.
Who knows? Travel essentials, Jeremy. Would you pack an umbrella with you when you're traveling to a convention that might rain? It might rain.
Probably not, honestly.
No.
Okay, and I have gone to conventions in which, I didn't pack an umbrella.
You just are like, let Jesus take the wheel.
Just let him take the
everything.
wheel. Okay, maybe my mindset right now is so, like, whatever happens, I am confident enough in myself that I can deal with it. But I don't want to make a plan A, B, C, all the way to Z for possible things that might happen. The only thing that I will do is, number one, medication. That's something I find it very difficult to find specific medication for particular things that my body sucks with.
Yeah.
Right? However, if it's something like, I'll still pack Panadol and antihistamine and other things that my body needs. But if it's like, do I need throat lozenges? Might have some of them. Lip balm, I keep that in my medical pack, but it's like, do I need Band-Aids and then antiseptic and then like extra toothpaste or, like you said, umbrella, or if I need an extra pair of hiking shoes because I'm going to go hiking, or a second coat, or those things are like really cut out. I'm trying to master the 7-kilo rule for domestic carry-on, but I can't. It's work in progress.
See, I think that works for you because of the way that you approach conventions and the activities that you are doing at conventions. Whereas somebody like a photographer would have a very different set of things that they are bringing along
like a
with
camera.
them. Yeah, and like cos cards and stuff to hand out, and like things that have purpose. Whereas you kind of just like, I am the purpose, and this is my weekend.
That's it.
Whereas if I'm an idol, I'm a cosplayer, I'm performing at the convention. You know how much stuff I need to make sure that I can do that performance?
You go, girl.
I need so much. You need the light stick, you need the change batteries for the light stick. Okay, but what if you're like, you need the bloomers? Oh my god, don't forget the bloomers. You need the petticoat. You need the shoes that you're going to be dancing in.
Dancing shoes.
If you've got different shoes. You need hairspray to make sure that it stays down while you're dancing so it doesn't like fluff up everywhere. You need so much. You need your contact drops.
I'm probably a little bit of the outlier that way because my makeup routine. It's quite literally, all right, let's wash my face with no soap, just water, moisturizer. And then eyeliner, contacts, eyeliner, eyebrow pencil. That's it. No primer, no concealer, no foundation, no... What else do you use?
Oh my god. Eyeshadow, blush.
I might use eyeshadow sometimes. Never use highlighter, never use blush. Just because my skin's not great, okay? That's the prime reason. Not that I don't like it. Once upon a time, I used all that stuff.
Lip gloss,
and you have a whole giant bag
lip
the size of this teapot. That's the amount of stuff I'd put on my face. Just tip this teapot on my face. That's how much stuff I'd put on. But over time, it's just like, how much difference does that actually make for me feeling, personally, when I go
Yeah.
to the convention? Does
Yeah.
it make me feel better about myself? Does it make my photos look exponentially better? And I kind of weighed the trade-off.
Yeah.
Personally, I thought the amount of effort I put in for this versus the amount I get out of it is not equal.
That's fine.
So because of that, I said,
Yeah.
no, I don't need that. I'm not
No,
going to do it.
That's fine. But what I'm talking about is bringing things that so you can be comfortable in your cosplay rather than being uncomfortable. So I'm literally like on the same line as you, where you would want to bring band-aids in case you get a blister from your cosplay shoes, because everybody knows that cosplay shoes are so uncomfortable. That is common fact. That is common fact. So many girls have to usually wear heels for their cosplays, and they are likely going to give you blisters. So I think it's a really good idea to bring band-aids.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you
Yeah.
people with uncomfortable cosplay shoes. I wore heels for a good hour at last Gold Coast Nova. Ellie's feet were hurting, so I was like, all right, let's swap shoes. Somehow with the same shoe size. So
Yeah.
I wore heels for a good hour and a half.
Yeah.
And kudos to all of you troopers who wear heels for an entire day, because don't know how you do it.
No, hurts.
Like, your leg,
Hurts a lot.
God, your legs look great. Like, I felt like, the firmness of how good your leg muscles feel. So I get why you wear them.
Yeah.
Your legs look amazing when you wear heels.
I don't wear it to make my legs look good. Wear them to be taller. That's the main reason I wear them.
Oh, you're tall enough,
I feel
aren't you?
powerful.
You feel powerful.
Yeah, if I walk past a man who's shorter than me in heels,
You're
I'm
like,
like, haha.
peasant.
Exactly.
But everyone...
Power trip, it's great.
How do you feel now? Because everyone's like, oh, you're taller. They'll call you mummy.
No, they won't.
They won't?
They
They will
won't.
ask you to step on them.
They won't
They're into
talk
that.
to me. They're too intimidated.
Oh, too intimidated. Yeah, right. You're too powerful. Mm-hmm. This is a power trip. Mm-hmm. The heels bring power.
Do you not feel powerful in your stilts and your fucking big ass Lewis costume?
I wore it out on the floor for... Well, no one even wanted to, like, get near me, because they're like,
Mm-hmm.
I might trip him over.
That's true.
That's all it was.
true, that's
but
true.
I'm fortunate that I'm not, particularly short.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, if someone is taller than me, I don't feel particularly intimidated or emasculated in any particular way. So,
Okay. That's fine.
but your legs look great
Okay.
in heels. So that part I can appreciate.
Okay.
The heels, it's like, get a bit of extra height, but I felt clumsy walking around. Maybe because it was my first time walking around.
Definitely that, yes. It takes practice. It
Takes practice.
You've never heard the whole thing of like, just walk around the kitchen dining table a few times? That's like how
No.
you train, yeah.
Crazy.
That's-
I've got probably even more of an appreciation of the ladies who wear heels out to the clubs, or the people who wear heels out to the clubs, because my God, I just imagine walking in them, but dancing in them on like stairs and slippery alcohol-fueled floors. Like, my God. You guys are troopers.
You should have come to more of my performances because you would have seen that I used to wear heels at every single
And
Love
danced in
Live
them.
dance. Yep.
You're a trooper. No wonder you're so good at
All
at
9 of
other
us
stuff.
did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Coordinated.
Yeah.
Heels.
It's
all
something
matching.
that we got to comment. Don't you remember Brisbane, Gold Coast Supernova 17? We walked up in our little aquarium outfits and like, wow, you guys all have matching shoes.
I said that?
No, the host did.
Oh,
But I
host.
was like, that's what you noticed out of all of our handmade, colourful, rainbow, sparkly fish costumes.
Would you prefer to say, wow, you guys, your costumes, your entire outfits
Yes.
are matching?
Yes.
Well-
Because we made those. We didn't make the shoes. The shoes we just popped on.
I'm sure the host was doing their best at that time.
I think she was.
They're doing the best. They don't know the culture.
They should. Love Live is very popular. She was a cosplayer herself, so.
That's a shortcoming of the host. Well, look, I'm trying.
I got my beef with my Supernova, so that's fine. No, okay, I think it's more common then for girls to invest in like little travel items because
Yep.
like it's nice to have like your little like. Have you seen those like bags that you can get that you can like store things in, like
Yep.
storage bags? So it's like I think it's a kind of girly thing to then go and have like have like this cosplay all packed in here, so you got where everything is, and like
Yep.
you need like to have everything. You need to make sure you have everything, so it's like nice to invest in things so that you know that you have everything. It's like a good excuse to buy stuff, unfortunately. But like you need like a travel sized shampoo, you need like a travel sized conditioner,
Those things are all fantastic.
Yeah.
I, once upon a time, I think did a lot more of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think as time's gone on, it's a combination of both necessity
Yeah.
and I think as most times I do travel now, it's traveling and I stay at a friend's place,
Yes,
and they've got
you
most
have
of that
been.
stuff
Yes,
anyway. So I
yeah.
don't say, I don't need to pack.
But if you're going to
bags
like a
on.
hotel or an Airbnb or something,
then I will probably pack
Yeah.
more of that kind of stuff as well.
which if you're a newbie traveler is probably the more likely thing that you might be doing. Like it does take time, but I think from going to these interstate events is where you meet those friends that you can then maybe stay with in the future. But when you're still starting out and want to go to Smash for your first time ever, you're probably going to be staying in a hotel.
I probably would, even if you do have friends down there, if they live conveniently close and have their own transport and they're offering to do so, then sure, great idea. But if they live in like if the goal of the trip is to spend time with them,
Yeah.
then yeah, it doesn't matter if they live an hour out because you get to spend time with them the whole time.
Yeah.
But if you're there for the con, it might be a better idea to get a nearby hotel to the con.
Yes. Yeah.
Or even share it with the person who lives in that town. They live an hour out because maybe they don't want to travel that hour to and from each day.
It's a good topic actually.
Accommodation?
Choosing your accommodation.
Choosing accommodation. Let's go. So, let's go with your top tip to do and top tip to avoid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number one thing, walkability. I would say absolutely, definitely pick a hotel that is within a 20-minute walk, if not less, from the convention center.
That's about a kilometre and a half.
Yeah. I would say
Yeah.
that a maximum, if not like 10-minute walk, because you might think, okay, I'll get the cheaper hotel on the other side of town and we'll take an Uber in every day, and that adds up so fast.
I made that mistake
It's
once
ridiculous.
in my life. And
Yeah.
I've learned from it. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I got this hotel, it's like $50 a night cheaper, so the accommodation's great. But it was not near a train station.
No.
I had to Uber to but we couldn't be bothered Ubering to the train station. We just ended up Ubering everything, and that was horrible.
So
That was
expensive.
horrible.
Yeah.
Never making that mistake again.
I feel like as well, to anyone who's listening from like the US, because a lot of American cons are held in hotels and they like all stay in the hotel. We don't have that. We literally do not have that.
So convenient.
There are the convention center hotels here in Australia will cost you $4,000 to stay in for the weekend. I want to say no or more. Like the Pan Pacific connected to the Melbourne Convention
Right,
Center
yeah.
will cost you probably like $2,000 a night. Like it is so ridiculously out there expensive, and that's for like a 1-bedroom kind of room. Like,
You know what's really nice though? I think for one of the competitive rounds I did for Madman back in 2018 or 19, one of the last ones, we got put up in the Pan Pacific.
2017 MNCC.
Oh, you were there too,
I was in
yeah.
that finals
That was
round
fun.
with you. It was.
Yeah.
It was a really nice hotel, but yeah, imagine if we could always stay there. So good.
So
it was like
good.
wake up in the morning, walk right. We're here. We're here. Take 2 steps. We're in the
Well,
convention
I know
center.
American cons, it's like, oh, walk out of your hotel room, cool, go downstairs. Cons
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
It's not like that for us.
No,
We've
we don't have
got
that.
convention centers, which are quite big, very spacious, but hotels are kind of around,
Scattered.
and you have
Yeah.
to walk there at least 5, maybe 10 minutes to get to the conventions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what you said before is number one for
Number one,
location.
yeah.
Book somewhere within, you say 20 minutes walk, so
I would actually, I'd say 15.
15? Yeah, so on a map, that'd be a kilometre and a half.
Yeah.
To Americans, that's a mile, within about a mile.
I don't know. Isn't it 1.6 is a mile? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know the conversion of
It's
imperial
fine.
measurements.
It's fine. But
so,
especially because you might think, oh yeah, we'll head out and we'll come back at
just
the end of the
Ubering.
day.
It's
No, walking, I mean.
Oh,
So,
right.
but you might think like, okay, if your hotel's much closer, during the middle of the day, you can actually just go back to your hotel if you need to chill for a bit
convenient,
and then
yeah.
come back later. It's literally so good. Or if
think-
you forget something at the hotel.
Yeah, I think too, because the convention centres are so central in the central business district of the city, it can be...
Most of them.
Most of them. You could, like, get an Uber back and forth towards your hotel, but the time it takes to get the Uber, get inside, get through the traffic, get to your hotel, it's almost the same as walking that 10-15 minutes. And it costs you $10-15 every time you do it, so you're better off just having somewhere close,
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah, number 1 rule.
Number 2 rule, I think, is people you're staying with.
Yeah.
Again, nothing to make or break it. If you know who you're staying with and you know their personalities, just be sure that you know it. I mean, your first time staying with them, as I say in life, if you try everything once, if you like it, do it again. If you don't do it again. For example, my housemate, we're good mates, just he's got particular things in which he's like, I prefer to have my own room, I prefer to have my own bathroom. So as a result, he prefers to just get his own accommodation. That's fine. And then me and my other housemate were like, sweet, we don't really care. Let's just get 2 single beds, same room, share a bathroom, and we're sweet. It's a good way to save money if you're sharing accommodation, But if you can't, there's other options, like cheap Airbnbs, and there's capsule hotels. If you're feeling game, you can go for a shared hostel with people. I've done that before. I know I'm shooting those eyebrows going like, what? Quick hostel story. I stayed with a friend, just me and another mate, went down to a hostel down in Melbourne. Very cheap. And the hostel was, we shared a bunk bed, and there was another bunk bed with two other German dudes. And the two other German dudes, it was all shared bathroom for the 4-person room. And the two German dudes were just like, they went out for a rave or something, and then they came back at like 3 a.m. And then we get up, and like, in their German accents, was like, oh my god, what are you guys up to? We're getting dressed in one-piece costumes. And like, oh, we're going out to a con. I was like, wow, dude, that's sick. That's awesome. And they showed us some videos of them at their rave, and they were just getting loose and having fun. It was actually quite fun, honestly. But, you know, each to their own. Do you have any recommendations for accommodation, doing it on the cheap?
I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Jeremy, what's the maximum amount of people to share a room with?
That's a great one.
Because
That's a great one.
Because
That's a real good
what's the most amount of people that you've shared a room with?
Let me think. I know
guess at the hostel.
You've gone big, because with Aquaria it was like 9 people or something.
We never. I can't
all
remember
9 in
if
one.
we were ever all in one. Oh god, I think we were. I think it would have been up there in like the 6 people.
That's pretty big. I think I've done maybe 4.
Wait.
No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. I've done 5. There was 2 couples, 2 rooms, and I had a bed out in the lounge room.
Mm-hmm.
That was fine.
Yeah, I've done 6 people twice, I think.
I think it really depends on the people.
Yeah.
It depends on the people. If you've got a tight-knit bunch of friends who are pretty easy-go-lucky, you know, you've got prep to do for the day, you're happy sharing a space, you don't mind kind of being, you know, shoulder to shoulder while you put on makeup. Because I know some people prefer, I need my own space, I can't put in contacts or put on makeup with someone next to me, it needs to be like that. You know, I think it just depends on the person, really.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
I think that if they're cosplayers, I think even 4 is pushing it, honestly. Because 3, if it's a weekend con, you've got like 3 costumes each.
Yep.
There's no way that you're going to be fitting in that space.
In the one bathroom.
No.
I mean, some people might bring like a small mirror.
Especially those hotels that I'm picturing where it's like just a bedroom with a bathroom. You know the ones?
Oh, yes.
Like the typical hotel room, not like an Airbnb.
Oh, that's what I've usually stayed in Airbnbs where it's got like a full apartment.
Yeah, apartment. Yeah. No, I'm more meaning like typical hotel setup where it's like just the bed.
Okay.
Yeah, and like a bathroom.
Accommodation prices is another one.
Yeah.
Actually, so I know after COVID, unfortunately, it has gotten a bit more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
A
lot more expensive.
I try to aim for per person, per night, about $100 ish. If I can get it for less than that, good. I remember one time, actually, Smash last year, went down 3 nights, was about just a room to myself, because I didn't have any travel partners for that particular trip. It's about $400 for 3 nights. It was about 133-ish. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Ended up sharing with Keely, which is fine, which is cool, because between us, that was like $70 a night, which was great. But for this next trip to Smash, sharing with my other roommate, it's 4 of us for $1,000 for 3 nights. That's $250 each for 3 nights, which is like $80-ish per person per night, which is like, sweet, that's good. That's about as far as I'm willing to go.
It doesn't necessarily get cheaper the more people that you get, right?
Not necessarily.
Interesting, hey? Yeah, so some people, I think, maybe in America it's better, or something like other countries where the more people that you have, the cheaper their accommodation will be, but in Australia it's really not the case.
It is typically...
Unless you start, like, squeezing extra people into rooms that shouldn't be.
Like, it does... I will say a good number to stay in one room is probably 2. I say 2 because... 1 person, too expensive to have that whole thing to yourself. If you pretty much get charged the same price for 2 people in that same room.
That's true, yeah.
And if you're okay sharing that space with that person, then all the better. Just make sure it's a close mate or a romantic partner. Makes it pretty easy. But when it gets a bit bigger than that, it gets a bit tricky. So 6 people, that's... You're a trooper. You're all troopers, all 6 of you.
Always been very fun times. But something I want to say and recommend about accommodation when you're looking for it is to first look at if you're working, you got a job. A lot of companies have actually got accommodation packs. So 2 of the companies that I've worked for in the past have both had hotel deals, which have saved like massive amounts of money. So I would seriously look into if you're working for like it's more the bigger chains, unfortunately. Like I think small businesses don't really offer these kind of rewards as employees. But if you are working for like a big chain in Australia, I would highly recommend looking at their perks and seeing if they have any accommodation or hotel related benefits, because it has saved so much money in the past. Like to give you a ballpark example of when we go stay in Sydney, we get a really good deal at a hotel there where we pay $25 a night for 4 people in one room. Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of job do you have again that gives these kinds of perks?
It's Event Cinemas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and
That's amazing.
So they own Ridges. They own the ski resort down in, I forget the name.
Oh my god, $25.
What's it called?
The hotel chain.
No, the ski place down in Sydney.
There's skiing in Sydney?
I don't know what it's called. In Melbourne, I don't know what it's called. I've forgotten.
And here I am,
they
looking
own,
on
they
Agoda.
own QT as well. They own QT hotels, the really boutique ones. Yeah. And then, yeah, I don't want to, like, reveal what other companies there are, but I would just say go do your research and go find out, because it is worth a lot. It's a lot of money. And maybe it's worth, if you travel a lot, switching up your part-time job to a company that will give you these packs, because there's no, like, with Event, there was no, like, real cap on how much you could use it, but, like...
So this is why you were just zooming from convention to convention.
Yeah, it made it a lot more affordable, absolutely. Oof. But, yeah, or I've often in the past, in the 2017-18 era, I was working for a brand who treated me like shit, but they did give me free accommodation, so...
There's hopefully perks to most jobs in some way or form, apart from just getting money from it. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. 25.
Like $100 a night for their whole room.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it makes it super affordable. Absolutely.
I can't say I can beat that, honestly, in terms of perks.
But it's a thing that exists. It's out there. It's like our literal Australian version of like coupons, I guess, because we don't really have coupons, but we have like, oh, you're employed, here's your staff discount.
I will say, though...
And see if any of your friends might qualify for it, because if one person can book a room for 4 people, you might all get that discount then. Yeah.
I will say, even if you are travelling interstate, and, you know, for example, we live in Brisbane, and if friends were to come down, they're like, oh, you know, we're looking for a place to stay. It's not even a bad idea to do, like, a staycation, where you are doing a hotel in your own town.
Yeah,
because
we've done that.
You can... you know, go back and forth between your house and drive and that's fine. But there's also the option of like, oh, I could just stay at a hotel with my mates near the con, and we could just go out afterwards, get drinks and have fun. I don't have to worry about, you know, driving back or something. I can just walk back to the hotel and the party continues, kind of thing. So staycation kind of convention days are pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
I've done that once or twice in Brisbane. It was a good time. So I'd recommend doing that. That's pretty fun. So...
Man, Jeremy, we didn't even barely get to tell a single horror story of like worst travel
Okay, we've got maybe 5 minutes before this goes to overtime.
Oh God,
give us your best and worst story in 100 words or less.
What the hell? What kind of
that's not it. Okay, make it 200.
Hard.
Make it 200.
I don't know what the worst travel story. I don't know. The worst one I've ever had is probably 2. It's just worst times I've felt while traveling. The one time that I got to go to America when this brand that, I'm sure our close listeners know who I'm referring to.
It's like Voldemort.
It is.
He who must not be named.
The brand we do not give a shit about. Took me over to San Jose, but we had a stopover in LA. And they, of course, had lounge access because they had their flashy American Express cards. And they're like, yeah, you good if you chill out here while we go in there and shower and shit? I was like 18 and I was like, this is LAX. This is like the busiest airport in the world.
Much, yeah.
And I don't have a SIM card, I don't think. So
You're
I was like
literally just
relying on the free public Wi-Fi.
There. That's crazy.
Literally, while they got to, after their 14-hour flight, which One of them was in business class one. Two of us were out the back.
Hey, look, I'm glad you guys got to bond over it.
It was a free flight, sure, it was great. Yeah, we got to bond over it. But when it came to the lounge, two people walked in and one person was left alone in LAX. That was pretty sad.
That's pretty dog.
That's pretty
rude. Dog, not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie. I would have loved a shower and to feel like I had friends, and instead I was left. And then on that transfer noted, we were nearly late to fly to Delta from LAX to San Jose, so we had to rush through security. And somebody had a metal water bottle, which was definitely not allowed. And so the two of us ended up being pushed front, and we're like, do we board? The plane is boarding. Do we get on the plane? What do we do? And so we're like, fuck it, we'll get on the plane. And the other one who had the metal water bottle freaked the fuck out and had a full temper tantrum about us leaving them behind nearly.
You know that slide of like calm to stress?
Oh,
they were like,
yeah, balls to the wall. When I had literally said, as an experienced traveller, you cannot bring metal water bottles full of water to, I think, international travel, and like American Airlines are so
let me guess,
on the league of their own.
Yes, and they took it out on you afterwards.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Two types of
You can
people.
me.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, I have so many stories with that brand. Another travel story.
I mean, I'm sure we'll bring up. I've brought up my worst travel story already, I think, in the previous episode.
Okay, you did.
But that was Sydney, and that was...
Do you have a best? What does that mean, best?
Oh, man.
Woohoo! Yeah!
Yahoo! My last PAX trip was... Put it this way, it really depends on the company you keep. I will say that again and again. It doesn't matter how bad the trip is. If your company was phenomenal, it changes everything.
That's true.
Because while that Smash trip sucked, I recall the Smash trip before that was amazing. The hotel looked like it was definitely for disability accessible, because that bathroom was quite literally the size of this lounge room. It was huge. Yeah. Had no business being that big. Yeah. You know, we got a little bit sick on that trip, and you know, we didn't really get up too much because it was so busy and stressful here and there, but it was still a great trip because the company was great. And my last PAX trip, it was possibly the most dodgy hotel I've ever been into. Yeah. Think of Airbnbs. I'm using Airbnb a lot less now. Yeah. Okay, imagine, you know how you go into an apartment building, and the apartment building is someone's apartment. Yeah. You know, it's got a lounge room, maybe like a room or two. Yeah. And you can see out the window, right? Someone turns their apartment into an Airbnb, which is fine. Yeah. But you rented that apartment per room. So there were 4 rooms in this small apartment. So each room had its own lock as well. Yeah. And I was like, what is this? Yeah. And some of the floorboards were peeling off. The inside shower door was broken. We didn't have a closet. I'm like, what the heck? God. Yeah. And to get into it, we landed at like midnight, 1 o'clock. I couldn't find the key. The key there's no lockbox. The lockbox was out on the street near the bike racks. Yeah. And the bike racks had several lockboxes. I'm like, what is going on? It started to rain. It was...
Oh, it started to rain.
Melbourne.
Wouldn't you wish you had an umbrella,
Jeremy? You know what Melbourne said? It said, no rain. Thanks, It's Melbourne. You can't
umbrella.
predict.
Don't listen to Jeremy.
But, despite that, and, you know, we only went for 1 day of PAX. Yeah. And we didn't plan on doing much else. We went to explore Melbourne. Someone else ended up another friend gave us, hey, look, we got extra passes. You'd come for the second day. Sweet. Yeah. Then we flew out the next day at, I don't know, 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. So we only got to spend...
So early.
Yeah, like literally 48 hours there. Yeah. But that was such a fun trip because, the company I kept... Yeah. It really, like, you can turn a really bad trip into something really fun. Yeah. Just depending on who you're traveling with.
Absolutely, I agree. But also picking certain things as well helps. Like not picking a 7 a.m. flight on a Monday after a convention. You will definitely sleep in and miss that.
Yeah, okay. That's one last thing I want to mention. If
picking
you can,
your flight times.
Because
they will be the cheapest, but they are not...
Sometimes it's not worth it. Think about it.
It's not possible.
If it's like Friday to Monday, right, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I should do Monday morning, 6 a.m. Sometimes it's worth paying the extra $40. It is. Just to fly out at 2 p.m.
Trust me, you will barely make the 10 a.m. hotel checkout time. Yeah. I guarantee it.
So, check out the day after. I would say make your flight late. Yeah. Make it Monday night. Even if it means, I spend a whole day there doing what? You'll find something. It's less stress. Less stress.
It's less stress.
Less stress.
Say that again.
It's a lot less stress. It's a lot Stress less. Less stress. Is that what I said? What did I say?
I don't know. Say it again from the start.
It's a lot. If you book on a Monday in the evening, it's a lot stress less. That's what I was going to say.
It's a lot less stress.
It's a lot less stress. What are you laughing at?
Your grandma. I don't know.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Continue,
Monday night.
continue.
Friday morning, Monday night. The ideal situation. Not Friday night to Monday night. Not Friday night to Monday morning. Friday morning, Monday night. That's the best trip.
I feel like we should attach like a free PDF guide on this video of like
Downloadable
Jeremy's
PDF.
travel packing list, and it'll have nothing on it.
And then Mai's packing list. It just goes for a whole PDF document
like
of 20
4 pages
pages.
long. Hey, 20.
20. But you're going to put like, apart from those 4
I'm
pages,
gonna make you one for Japan. No.
let's collaboratively
Yeah,
make
okay,
one. And then
okay.
we'll cut it down to 2 pages. You know, in between.
Passport in bold.
So that takes up half the page.
Yeah, it will.
Hey, it's a good thing to remember.
It is good.
Those nightmares will be gone. Anyway, so travel tips. If you guys have got some hot travel tips that we've missed today or you'd like to add on, please let us know. Put it in the comments below. Or you Spotify people, send us an Instagram comment or an Instagram DM. And if you prefer Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating. For some reason, it's so hard to find us on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I actually have to like sift through the podcasts to
Who
find us.
even uses it? I have an iPhone and I don't have Apple
I think the problem with
Podcasts
Apple
on it.
is because you need to have an Apple account. And
Yeah.
to get an Apple account and to put your email address, confirm like a PIN.
Everybody has that with an iPhone.
And you also
You
need
don't
to
have
be...
an iPhone.
I don't. But
Yeah.
you also need to be signed up to Apple Music or something?
No, I think every iPhone account has an iPhone
okay.
account.
I don't have an iPhone,
Yeah,
that's
every
the
time
thing.
you want to download an
Yeah.
app, you have to enter like.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Spotify's just easy to get onto. It's just like,
Yes,
you
it
don't
is.
need to have an account, number one. And number two, it's like, just enter your email password.
Yeah,
Easy, so.
I think you do need to have an account if you want to search specific songs from memory.
Yeah, that's the bonus of having an account with Spotify. So, but yeah,
I hope
bless.
you enjoyed.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. We're ranting. This got our longest episode
We
yet.
got ranty.
It's okay. About 30, 40 minutes. Like those kinds. That's what happens after you all. Yeah.
I'm swearing.
No, it's fine.
From my foul language, I just feel a lot of emotions towards certain people.
Oh, when something
I'm
triggers your
allowed,
brain.
right?
Yeah.
I'm allowed to get
You're
a
allowed.
little bit feral about certain people. Left to me in airports at a young age.
Traumatized. No, don't worry. Don't worry. We'll make sure we have things
I
organised.
didn't mention who it is.
No, don't worry. No doxing. Not yet.
Like, no defamation, not yet.
Not defamation, not yet. Maybe it's coming. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Anyway, we'll wrap this one up because the next episode from the go is going to be like, "G'day, fellas, we're ready to go. Ready to fight."
It will be. We hope you stay tuned and enjoy your lovely week. Please do something that makes you happy.
Yeah, do it and let us know.
Good luck with your Smash Con.
Good luck with Smash Contract.
You got
We'll be
this.
right next to you. That's about it.
We will.
Sweet.
Okay.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.